My Hebrew brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered all over the globe, all over the earth. Let me say Shabbat Shalom. And it's a joy to be with you this Shabbat. And we trust that you are enjoying your Shabbat. Let me say thank you to my administrators, Sister Basha and also Sister Lorraine. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And all those, my listeners and viewers, as you come into the room, just come in with a heart, of love. You want to love each other. We want to serve Yahuwah, praise His name, praise His name. We want to give Him all the honor and all the glory. We're going to continue this message that we started last Shabbat, and the title of it is Fear Yahuwah, and the scripture is taken from Deuteronomy chapter 10, verses 12 through 22. And so we want to continue on that. My brothers and sisters, I had few questions about the prayer shawl. Okay? And I tried to respond as well as I could and show the scripture and everything. And so I'm going to demonstrate to you, before we go into the message, I usually try to pray. Now, if you remember, Yahushua in his earthly ministry, he always have some conversation, either with the publicans or with the Pharisees. And I remember him saying in one of his scriptures, in one of his conversations, that when you pray, don't be like the hypocrites. Okay? They like to go into the street and they like to get everybody's attention. And they want to show how holy they were and how opposite they were from the publicans. And so they would pray long, long prayers, and have just open up, let everybody know, hey, listen, I am praying. Listen to me, watch me, But he said, when you pray, you must enter into your prayer closet. So the prayer shawl here is a prayer closet, okay? No, I'm going to pray, but I am not going to pray audibly. I'm going to pray in silence. And I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to pray. So what you do is get to a quiet place, pull aside. This is the reason why they always have the prayer shawl, because they pray all the time. They get a chance, right? So they go into a corner, a private place that you don't have to draw any attention to yourself, okay? And even if people see you praying, they don't know what you're saying because it's not audible. So let's pray. Amen. So he said, you pray in secret, and your heavenly Father who hears will reward you. Right? And people around you will see some of the results of, you're praying to Yahuwah and Yahuwah answering you. Okay. All right, so we are going to be talking about the fear of Yahuwah, fearing Yahuwah today. And you remember the message that I hope you remember, But last week, last Shabbat, we talked about the fact that the holiness of Yahuwah is the major concern in the Torah and the Tanakh, because Yahuwah, speaking to Moshe and Aaron, and they were the spokesmen for Yahuwah. They were spokesmen to the Hebrew Israelites. And it tells them that in Leviticus 11:44 rather, for I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. And he said, ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves. In other words, make yourself clean, set yourself apart, holy. And it said, be holy, for I am holy. Okay, so my brothers, my sisters, Yahuwah requires holiness from his people. And some people want to stone me, right? Because I keep saying that. But this is the reality, that we have to follow righteousness. We have to follow holiness, my brothers and my sisters. He said we are sanctified, and to be sanctified means that we are set apart. We are set apart. Sanctifying doesn't mean that you go to one of those churches where clap and shake up and jump and dance and fall out on the floor and all that kind of. That's not what sanctification is. We are sanctified by the blood of Yahushua. We are sanctified by his word. When we read his word, my brothers and my sisters, and we apply his words to our lives, his word helps us. It cleans us up, because what happened? We are living according to his word. Okay? And we are sealed by the Ruach of Yahushua. Alright? Good. Now, he said, neither shall ye defile yourself with any manner of creeping things. That's what we talked about last week. That creepeth upon the earth. Alright? And in verse 45, in Leviticus 11:45, he said, listen what he said. For I am Yahuwah that bringeth you out of the land of Mizraim, to be your Elohim. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. So to the Hebrew Israelites people, my brothers and my sisters, Deuteronomy 6:4, that we refer to as the Shema, is one of the most important passages for us. This agrees with what Yahushua's own assessment, because he called it the great and first commandment in Matthew chapter 22, verses 36 through 38. So my brothers and my sisters, he tells us, he said, and thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Oh, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, our whole being, every part of us, my brothers, my sisters. So we refer to this as the Shema, right? And so he said, hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our Elohim, is one. Shema. We are to listen in the sense of obeying. Our Hebrew Israelite ancestors, my brothers and sisters, they were taught the central tenet that Yahuwah, our Elohim, is one Yahuwah. And Moshe was trying to teach, where he was trying to teach them where their priority lay. Sometimes they want to be over here, sometimes they want to be over there. You cannot serve Yahuwah with one foot over here and one foot over here. He needs our total allegiance. We have to give him everything. And the guarantee of our success is based on our relationship, our fellowship with our Yahuwah. But before Israel and the house of Israel and Judah went into exile, they forgot everything. They forgot everything that Moshe was trying to tell them. And you know what happened, my brothers and sisters? As I said last week, because of the forgetfulness, tragedy. The result of it was tragedy. They lost out on the blessings that Yahuwah has promised to give them. They started to enjoy it, and then shortly after, wasn't long after, they went into exile because they want to be like other people. They weren't satisfied with Yahuwah. And they want the security of Yahuwah. They want to hang on to Yahuwah in a sense, but they want to be able to do, their own bidding. Right? If you remember Yahushua, he said the children, they sat down to eat and rise up to pray and to play. So they play the harlot. They want to worship Yahuwah, but at the same time they want to play the harlot. They want to serve other gods, okay, other little Elohims, instead of serving, or Elohim or Yahuwah. All right. So we talked about presumptuous sin last week, and in a sense that presumptuous sins are arrogant and irreverent moral actions. And our Hebrew Israelites ancestors, even some of us today, as I mentioned, as descendants, have a bold and daring confidence in Yahuwah's goodness. We have this attitude, oh, okay, we can, we do not want to obey Yahuwah. Our heed is warning. Because we have this rationalization that, I have time. I can always go to Yahuwah forgiveness. You're going to forgive me later because he's a loving Yahuwah. But my brothers, my sisters, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So Hebrew brothers and sisters, let us, use our ancestors as an example that we cannot invoke Yahuwah's blessing and then continue to live in sin. We can't do that, my brothers and sisters. We must not be complacent about our spiritual and moral condition. We are, in Proverbs it says, search your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. We have to search ourselves, search our hearts, my brothers and sisters, to make sure that there is no animosity, there is no, nothing inside of us, that we are harboring things inside of in our lives that would hinder us from hearing from Yahuwah and the blessings that he has given us, that we miss out on it. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. In Christianity, okay, if you sin, just go pray and ask forgiveness. And so because some people, it was not taught properly to many of us. And so what many of us did, and many other Christians continue to do, is that, okay, I have Jesus. Jesus died for my sin. And so I can do anything I want to do and go back and ask him for forgiveness. My brothers and my sisters, our cousin Shaul said, sin shall not have dominion over you. We're not to allow sin to have dominion over us. Because we are not under the curse of the law. The curse of the law is sin and death, my brothers. That's what Yahushua came to free us from, the curse. Remember what Paul said, when I try to do good, evil present. And then he found another law. You know, that no matter what he tried to do, the law of sin and death tried to get him to do something else. You know, we don't want to do that. We don't want to be disobedient to Yahuwah's, warning and plea to us. Our ancestors missed out on the promise due to being disobedient, and we don't want to follow in that, my brothers and sisters. And so we went on and we did talk a little bit on Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 12, and we talk about the fact that, as Moshe was teaching the Hebrew Israelite people, he said, our ancestors, he said, and now Israel, what doth Yahuwah thy Elohim requires of thee? And he went on to say, to fear Yahuwah thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yahuwah thy Elohim, and to do it not with portion of us. We can't have, like I said, one foot. There's a whole saying that said that they use the whole term, straddling the fence. 1 foot over here and 1 foot over here. We can't do that. He said we have to fear him with all our heart and with all our soul, our whole being, my brothers and my sisters. Our whole being. Fear him, reverence him, he said we have to walk in all his ways, that our manner of life, my brother, our course of action, a course of life or our mode of action, my brothers and my sisters. Okay? And it's a conversation, it's a custom, it's something that we do. It's a lifestyle. My brothers and my sisters, Hebrewism is a lifestyle. It's not something that we say. Like I share a little bit about that in meditation. Okay, it's a lifestyle. That's how we are. We live according to his word. Remember we said we are the people of the book, and so people of the book, we have to set examples. We have to show the way. We are the light. Yahushua said we are the light of the world. We scattered all over the world, my brothers and my sisters. So we are to be the light, and we are to be the salt that brings season. That you understand what I'm saying here? Okay, I don't want to beat you over the head, but I just want to say that. And he said that we have to love him, and loving him is is to have affection, a gentle feeling of fondness. Liking is an intense feeling of deep affection that we're supposed to have for Yahuwah. We shouldn't allow anything else to come in to usurp authority in our lives, so that, my brothers and my sisters, we don't give Yahuwah all that is due to him. We have to serve him, and by serving him, we're talking about our worship, being his servant, what we do for him, we work for him, and so on. And then he said, we have to keep his commandments, keep the commandments of Yahuwah, and his statutes, and all of this which Moses was commanding them to do. And they have to do it for their good. Do it for their good. To keep the commandment, my brothers and my sisters, I did mention last time that, it's like you have a special plant, right? And you want to make sure that nothing goes wrong with that plant. So what do? You put a hedge around it. And you want to put a kind of hedge around it that would, want to hinder people from walking around and walking and damaging and doing anything like that. And sometimes you're going to put a kind of fence that would keep people out, I would keep animals out. Okay? It's just, you know, in some countries, like in the Caribbean islands, almost everybody, you know, have a burglar bar at the window. And they have this iron gate that they open, you know, either inside the door or outside the door. One of them you open and go in first, right? And it's to keep intruders out, right? So keeping the Shabbat means that you have to guard it, my brothers and my sisters. You have to protect it. You have to attend to it. You know, beware, you know, of it, to be circumspect, to take heed, to keep it, to observe it, to preserve it, to regard it, to reserve it, my brothers and my sisters. That's what we do, because His commandment is our life. The Torah, my brothers and my sisters, the Torah is our life. And we are to keep it, my brothers and my sisters. Praise His name. We have to praise His name for. And He said we have to do it for our good. And so our good, you know, in the widest application of the word, is a good thing, or it's a good man, or a good woman, beautiful, cheerful, at ease, favor, graciously, joyful, you know, kindness, loving, merry, most pleasant, you know, it's pleasing, it's pleasure, it's prosperity, ready, it's sweet, it's wealth, it's well favored. My brothers and my sisters, when we talk about a good thing, these are what good, and there, I could keep on going on, talking about other, you know, words that bring out this idea of being good. There's a Hebrew word, tov, there, means good. It's for your good. So He's not giving you something to be a burden. He's not giving you something to be a burden. He's giving you something to make you happy, make you joyful. You know, when I walk out in the street, my brothers and my sisters, I feel good in Yahuwah. At home, I feel good in Him. You know, and you know, when you're trying to meditate and do things, you know, that will bring glory and praise to Yahweh, Hasatan, you know, he will come in and He will put doubt in your heart and in your mind, you know, to keep you from doing the things that Yahweh wants us to do. But listen, and in verse 14, my brothers and my sisters, this is what He said. Behold the heaven of heaven and the heavens of heavens is YAHUAH'S, thy Elohim. That means everything, my brothers and my sisters. In Psalm 8, I was studying in Psalm 8, where it talks about how excellent is His name in all the earth. And it went on to talk about the things that His fingers created. And some of the things that he talked about there was like the moon and the storm. We talk about how the distance, my brothers and sisters, all of those things are owned by Yahweh. He made them. And then let me run something by you here, because it is important for you to see this truth. Every family that I know that raise children, and the children are obedient and loyal to their mom and dad, is very few mom and dad that I see over the years that have a wicked heart. That when the children do good to them, they turn around and do evil to the children. Very few. And you know those people who did that, they're worthless. They are worthless. They have no essential consequence. They're no good. But every parent, every good parent that have children, my brothers and my sisters, and the children do good. I'm not saying that the children are going to mess up here and there. Because, you know, our Hebrew Israelite people, my brother, our ancestors, and continue down to our days, we mess up big time. But everything that they have, everything that they own belong to us. Belong to us. And some of them they die without a will. And the government is going to take it and going to make sure that all of the family members have to go through the law and legal stuff. Make sure that everybody get their equal share. But what I'm saying here, everything that Yahuwah has, everything that he has belongs to us. Everything that he owns is ours too. So when you look up in the skies and in the nighttime and you see the moon and the stars, in the daytime you see the sun, all of these things is for our good. He made it for us, my brothers and my sisters. He said, everything, all the animals, everything, he said, the earth also, and with all that are in it, belong to him. And it belonged to him, he gave it to us too. But my brothers and my sisters, in verse 15, this is what he said. Only Yahuwah had a delight in thy fathers to love them. Only Yahuwah. No, my brothers and sisters, all the other little Elohims, if you want to say little gods, right? You have the statue and that's how people bow down to them and so. Have you ever seen one of those statues that they bow down to come down from where they are and come down and say, hey, how can I help you? Have you ever seen any of that happen? No. None of that. All the men who claim to be little Elohims, as great as they claim to be, as rich as they are, have they ever come back from the grave and said, okay, I see you have a need, let me help you. Have you ever seen anything like that happen? Don't waste your breath. That will never happen, my brothers and my sisters. That will never happen. So, what I'm trying to say to you here is that everything that Yahuwah has, to do that, you'll need to be online. Everything that Yahuwah has belongs to us. Everything. Nothing that he created. Nothing that he created go without us in mind. He wants us to enjoy everything that he created. Everything belonged to him. And so he said, Yahuwah only delight in thy fathers to love them. And not only that he loved them, but he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. My brothers, when Moshe was writing these down, you know, for long that is over 4,000 years, right? And today, we as Hebrew Israelites, we have more of us in the world, scattered everywhere. When Moshe was writing this, it was a handful of people, if you understand, just 4,000 so. We would refer to as a handful of people to compare it with the amount of Hebrew Israelite people that we have today. One state, one of the states, or the 52 states, are okay? And one of the states, especially is where, well populated with Hebrew Israelite people, are the descent, right? Have more than 4,000 people, right? And so we scattered over the earth, everywhere. In Jamaica, there are more than 4,000 people, okay? Can you imagine Moshe talking to those people then? And he's talking to us today because his word lives and abides forever. He's speaking to us too. And so, in verse 16, listen what he said. He said, circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. Let me read it again. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. My brothers and my sisters, what is saying here, and what this verse implying to us, is that our ancestors' physical circumcision was not valid if it was not accompanied by a proper attitude toward Yahuwah. Let me say it again. You didn't hear it. Let me say it again. That our ancestors' physical circumcision was not valid, my brothers and my sisters, if it was not accompanied by proper attitude toward Yahuwah. We could run around and say, oh, I'm circumcised, and brag about it. But if your heart is not with Yahuwah, if your attitude toward Yahuwah is out, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Don't let anybody fool you. We have a covenanted relationship with Yahuwah. Okay? And circumcision was a covenanted relationship. But let me tell you something, my brother. The heart, I use Abraham as an example. Every male child and even his servant, everybody, all the men were circumcised. But let me say this. Do you think they just get circumcision and they go down and live dirty? No. Everything was not written down for us to know what was going on. But we know that based on the fact that Abraham was a man of faith, has a good relationship with Yahuwah. But I'm not saying that he did not mess up here and there. There are a few things that you read about his life. They show that he did have some faults too. He was a sinless perfection. But he lived a perfect life in the sense that he lived a life of holiness before Yahuwah. Right? And so everything about us and between us and Yahuwah must be something that He's well pleased with. You got to be well pleased with, my brothers and my sisters. This is what He said here in verse 17. For Yahuwah, your Elohim, is Elohim of mighty ones, He is Elohim, Elohim of the little Elohims, right? The little gods, if you want to say it like that. And he is master of the little masters. He is a great El. In the King James Version, it says a great God. And he is mighty. And in the King James Version, it says is terrible. What the word there is awesome. He is awesome. And he is the Elohim that does not regard people as taking rewards or, you do, man, let me tell you, man, you grease my palm, that's what they say, grease it, and I will grease yours, I will look out for you. No, he's not that kind of Yahweh. He's not partial, my brother, my sister. He doesn't show any partiality. And he does not take bribe. We cannot bribe Yahweh. Sometimes, you ever listen to some of those prosperity preachers? They talk like they're bribing Yahweh. They talk like, Yahweh is in a box. They can just open the box and just take him out and then he act for them. Like a couple of years ago, there was a preacher they called Reverend Ike. Ike when in New York, he originally was from South Carolina. He went to New York as a poor boy, and he became a millionaire through preaching. And so he, I think he might have bought an old theater or something that what he was having his church meetings or something. But he used to come down, a special kind of elevator made for him to come down. When he come down in his robe and his flashy looking, and is I am icon quota. And he starts showing you pictures of his Cadillacs and Mercedes Benz and Rolls Royces and say, look at all of these, Then and of course he didn't say Yahuwah. He said, if God and Jesus can do this for me, he can do it for you too. Oh my goodness. And then they say things like that. Okay, and you want to give some money to us, the Lord wants you to give some money to him. Where the Lord going to use the money? Give it to the Lord. No, you give it to the preacher, right? And they have ways of bribing. And these different prosperity preachers, and they have people farming lands, and those who have the $1,000 can go in this land, those with the $500 go in this land, and those with the $250 go in this land, those with the $200, and they have lines, and all of this, people that are ignorant to what the word of Yahweh said. They are giant line going up to get the blessing because they're going to pay for the blessing. My brothers and my sisters, you don't have to pay for nothing. You don't have to bribe Yahweh to give you anything. You do not have to bribe Yahweh to give you anything. It shows no partiality. And in verse 18 he said, he doth execute judgment of the fatherless and the widow. My brothers and my sisters, people who take advantage of the fatherless, little children and people who are fatherless, and the widows, right, lost their husbands, and they're widow, and they need our help, and then he said he loves the strangers and giving them food and raiment. In other words, the stranger here is the word ger, ger. And this gimel and resh is two letters to make up that word. And this word means foreigner, alien, guests, or the sojourners or strangers. So even the Gentile people, Yahuwah, give them a blessing too. You know, he give them a blessing too. He said, love the stranger. And they give them food and raiment. So when he reigned, we the just, the Hebrew, the Israelite, the righteous people, we get it, right? But the Gentiles who next door to us, they get the rain too. Okay? They get the rain too. When they plant the crop, they reap a harvest too. Yahweh have a way of blessing them. And sometimes the blessing that he blessed them, it comes back to us too, because some of those Gentile people, though they're Gentile, some of them, they love the Hebrew people, the Hebrew Israelite people, and they will do good things to them. They will do good things for them. All over the earth, we find this happen. So my brothers, my sisters, let us remember. Then in verse 19, Yahweh said, love ye therefore the stranger. Love them. Why should we love them? Because he said, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. In Mizraim, you were the strangers in the land. Remember our ancestors, right? They went down into Egypt. And things went good for them for many, many, many years. Starting under Joseph. Okay? But after years later, almost 400 years later, things changed when a new Pharaoh came in. And at that time, my brothers, my sisters, things started to change for them. So there were strangers in the land of Egypt, in Mizraim. We were among the Kemetic people. And even though we look alike and pick up some of the culture, it didn't stop them from, and the pharaohs that came in, didn't stop them from ill-treating us. So Yahweh said we had to love them because we were strangers ourselves. This is what he said in verse 20. Thou shalt fear Yahweh thy Elohim. They shall fear him. And listen what he said. Him shalt thou serve. Fear him, and he said, him shalt thou serve. Him shalt thou serve. And then he said, and to him shalt thou cleave and swear by his name. For he is thy praise, in verse 21. For he is thy praise, and he is thy Elohim that has done for thee these great and awesome things, which thine eyes have seen. Thy fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons, 70. And now Yahuwah thy Elohim has made thee as the stars of heaven for multitude. My brothers, my sisters, this is what Yahuwah has done. This is what he has done, my brothers and my sisters. This is what he has done. This is what he has done. Our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, we thank you and we bless Yahuwah for you. And we're asking you that today you'll be a blessing to someone. Praise his name and walk with the King. Shalom.